Okay, so let's get down to the brass tacks. How I got to this decision today and what my deprogramming of myself was and how empowering the brain is. My observation since I'm 26 is I go on these self-awareness things, right? And like I said, it comes from actually falling in love and wanting to be a better person. Well, even though things change and all that, I still want to be a better person. The point I'm trying to get here is my realization of when I started waking up of the stupor of my everybody should see where I'm at, right? I'm only human, right? This is all natural human behavior, and it's okay. But we have to recognize it and learn how to handle it and do it better than what I did. So this is my process of how I see what slowly happened to me, and then my awakening. There's a lot of compounds of the trauma throughout my life that I could forget, etc. But I don't know why. Anytime someone's uncomfortable, I don't care if I know you. I don't care if I don't know you. I don't care if I don't like you. If you're uncomfortable, I can't be comfortable, and I don't know why. It's not like I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to be honest here. This is how I process and how I do things. And whole time I'm talking, I'm fidgeting. My fingers are moving like this, and I want you to see all this, the mannerisms of why I stayed away and why I was so afraid to be in public and why it would take me so long to get to where I was, right? Just 1 second. Let's get back to how I started waking up. The brain stores things, and I read a lot, I watch a lot of things, and I try and vet them to see if they're just my fanciful imagination, or is it true, or do we have enough to know if it's true, you know? I'm out of breath. I had to go turn the water off. But yeah, I really had hit a really low point again, where the ideation of not wanting to be here was strong, really strong. And I started freaking out everywhere, right? So I'm like, no, you can't do this because they don't help you in the hospital. You know, they don't help you there. You don't fit. It doesn't work for you the way they're doing it. It works for some, but for you, it don't even fool with them people, right? Because they don't care. They just think that that's what you're supposed to fit in again. There's no one way for one person. It don't work for everyone. But anyway, I freaked out really bad when people I really love, and there was no reason for it, right? And the whole drive home, I'm like, how the hell, who are you? Who the hell are you, right? Everybody can't be in your head. And let me explain in my head. I say it runs constantly, and these voices are there. I have the part that my brain that I classify as actually knowing something. And then I have the part in my brain that is just angry. And I have the part in my brain that's desperate to know what's going on and why I'm like this and to change it, because what they're doing isn't working. But anyway, when you sleep, the brain kind of rests a little bit, right? And it works out the things you were trying to do the day before. Well, since I don't sleep, it took a long time for my brain to do that. It didn't have the time to do it while I was sleeping, because I don't sleep much. I sleep 4 hours, 5 hours a day, and that's it. No naps, unless I'm depressed. Most of the time, I'm just exhausted when I do sleep from my brain moving so fast. Not that I've done much physically. And this is what people don't understand, right? Even though I'm just sitting there and I'm playing a game or something, I don't have to focus. It's just a humdrum thing that brings in sync my mind. And the important parts of my mind can speak up, because I've been ignoring them, because the angry part of my mind is like, it should be all about you, and nobody understands, and they should see what you see, and that's not real. It's not. So you have to, I started waking up to that when I love these people dearly. These people were here for me when I had no family. They were my family. They are my family, I hope. I just lost my mind, guys, and I know y'all never seen that part of me, because I'd only been here since 98, and I was happy-go-lucky drunk Dawn, right? Bullshit artists, make you laugh, tell you the cold, hard, honest truth about what you see, even about yourself, to your own detriment. Be honest. And so in that realization, I slowly started waking up, and my analytical part of my brain, the part that knows better, is like, you're only human, and so are they. So I started thinking and looking, and one time we were in the Turtle up here, and I was in one of my manic states where I was in drunken stupors and going home with anybody and what have you, and a friend of mine stopped me, and, well, an acquaintance stopped me. She's a friend, but she stopped me, and she's like, man, I see you and my son, and he's on drugs, and you do this, and because my addictions were a little bit different, and until I can figure out who the audience is, I don't want to say a lot of too much on video, because I don't want to offend nobody, and I don't want to, it's up to parents whether they want children to see what this is. My child didn't see shit until he was like 13, unless it was done behind my back. But the point is that I forgot that simple. The voices come in. And see, look, and nothing, I'm helping. It's like, I don't know why. These are mannerisms I'm afraid to show in public, and why I don't go. And, maybe that's why the anger part comes out of me, because it's a shield or a defense to not engage with people that I know and love, because I don't want them to see me this way. That's some of it. That's not all of it, That's just me coping with that. That's giving me a coping mechanism to try and give empathy to myself. I deserve that. I need to look at this, and I deserve empathy to myself. I need to give that to myself. These are things we don't do for ourselves. We just say, oh God, what did we do? And we beat ourselves up over it. And I'm tired of doing that, because all it does is create me to go into a harder depression or a harder manic stage. But the waking up and the process, I want to document it. The friend of mine's like, I'm like, you're a very intelligent woman or person. please, just study us. Write it down. I'll tell you everything. I don't care. Please, let me tell you everything. Write it down. I can't write no more. And I can write. I've been published in small little things like the one of the letters that go out through school and other things that I'm still not ready to talk about. I don't know where I'm at again. You know, as I'm doing this, I'm coming to realizations about what actually everything is. Like I said, it's like a fog, and you start remembering things, because like I would just like forget I did that, forget I said that, because I was so hyped up from being in town and so scared, and things pop out, and I do things backwards. If you haven't noticed, you'll notice I did everything backwards, right? I did everything backwards. That's all I'm saying. And I could actually be doing something and be like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and do exactly what I'm telling myself not to. And it was easier to brush it off when I was drunk and not worry about it and keep going. But now that I'm sober, I can see it a bit clearer, thank goodness. And I want to share that with you, because I think it's something you can learn. I think we can all learn. I'm not asking for forgiveness, and I'm not going to say I'm sorry to this one, I'm sorry to that one, until I'm face to face with you. It shouldn't be done on YouTube. I won't name no names. I won't talk about who I experienced with. But I think people should know the process and what happens. And as I'm discovering it, because I still don't know, because I just woke up like 7 days ago. And I'm not lying, like 7 days ago I realized, man, where the hell have you been? And as I'm discovering this about this mental breakdown that I'm coming through, I want to share it with you, and maybe something will click for you and you can help yourself or a loved one that you see going through this. And the first part is to tell myself, you're just human, and you let a lot of stuff get to you, and you went down the wrong path. And the thing about the wrong path is you can always carve another one. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to be here for my community again, because I kind of was, even though I was a spastic one that would pop in and out, only do something for so long, and then boom, I had to be gone again. That's how I dealt with my mental illness. I can be there for a little while, and then it gets too much, and I have to step back. And doing this project, I want you to understand that. For my own mental health, I will block everything and everyone out. But I do want to get back to my community, because when I did wake up, I'm doing these apps, right? I started playing this misplay game, and I made money for the first time in 17 years, man. And even though I hate money, that's what makes the world go around, and it makes you a little bit happier. Gives you a little bit of hope when you can do it yourself, and you've been a burden to everyone else around you because you can't keep it together. And it's not your fault, right? Because the help isn't there. For me, it works for some. But for me, I have to find a different way. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I have to put the voices in their place. I can do that sometimes. All about like controlling your dreams and stuff like that. So I know I can control it. I just need to give my brain more information. The more information my brain gets, this is the way I learn. it takes longer because I don't sleep. That's how the brain helps you get things right. So you have to hit certain parts of sleep. And that's what I understand so far. Please, anything, look this up for yourself, right? I've always told my son, I can tell you a million things, baby, but please look it up for yourself. Because I don't shut up. And everybody I know is tired of listening to me, the preaching and the oh, look what I found, and I understand, right? Because I sit in this little hole for the last 20 years, and I don't go out and experience life because I'm so afraid of what people will think about me. And if I didn't have that fear about what people would think about me, I think I could act a little bit better. And because I have had that ability to keep it together in public and hold a job for a small amount of time. Not long. I'm only good for about 3 months, and then I gotta back up. I gotta get away because the more I get involved, the less I sleep. And now I'm not gonna drink myself stupid because I want to figure out what actually is going on. Try to figure out, and I want to help other people. You know, I want to go around to my community, and anybody that has any art, I want to put it on my channel. Shannon gave out the flyers, right? She helped me with the flyers. She did the flyers. That's her tree of life, of her spiritual awakening. And that's great, you know? That's like really awesome that she gave that to me to put on my flyers. This little crazy chick that's hurt a lot of people and has alienated herself. I don't know if she knows me. I've done a lot of stupid shit. I'm sure I've hurt a lot of people, and I haven't had those memories yet, and I'm gonna share them when I do. And hopefully I remember with who, so I can go to that person in person and admit that I was wrong, and it was me. I was the asshole. Like I said, I can't expect everyone, right, to know what's going on in my head. I don't understand or know what's actually going on in my head. And there's a lot of us out there that's like this. I guess this is going to be a podcast. This is what I do best. I sit and I analyze things when I can think straight. And it comes with a lot of self-awareness and heartache. But in the end, as much as it hurts, it feels good after about a month or so, after it sinks in and you realize that was the right thing to do. And I want to get something clear. All an atheist means is that I believe in one less God than you. Nothing else. That's the only thing it means. I'm crazy as a loon. I believe in aliens, and I believe in Sasquatch people. I don't think that generations and generations and generations can be seeing the same thing and it not be there. We'll look up. We'll find out, you know, what they do have, because there's a lot of information out there that gets buried because of corporate media or whatever. You know, they got their own agenda. They're billionaires that want to keep you in the dark and keep people like me out of the eye of society. I don't blame them. We're radical, right? We don't conform. We refuse to conform. I've never conformed. I've always been the one, no, I'm not going to home ec. I know how to wash dishes. I don't want to know how to sew. I can care less about I can sew you a button to last your lifetime, but that's about it, man. Those things didn't interest me. I know I was told they were supposed to, but they didn't. I bucked the system. I fought until I got in the wood shop, and they didn't have art. That wasn't my fault. They didn't have art. I would have took art. I'm not gonna take home ec, and you're not gonna tell me I have to. And that's where I get in trouble, right? Because I don't conform, but I don't think it's fair that you have to. That's not the way my brain works. And I think I deserve a space where my brain does work. And I think a lot of people deserve that space, and I'm tired of us getting pushed aside, forgotten about, looked down upon. I hate to tell all of you, you're just one mental slip from being just like me. No one's immune to this. It's just that mine developed very early. It's like sinuses, right? When you're born in the South, you're either born with them or you grow into them, but you will have them. Some people can get over them very quickly, and some people can't. And I'm one of those people who can't. And I want to speak up for everybody like me, and try and figure out why we're like this. And I don't care why I'm like this. I want to just be a better person. I'm not trying to change being like this, non-conforming. I'm trying to carve out a spot and a place in our community where we don't feel like a burden to everyone around us, and we can provide for our community. I've tried a lot of different things, and I give it my all, and then I hurt myself, or I get COVID and I get sick, and it all just falls to the wayside. I fall a lot. The medications that they did put me on, I have like no balance sometimes. I'll go like lean to one side, and it's only since I took the medication. That may not be the reason, but I don't trust them. I went to regular doctors for migraines and stuff like that, and I tell them, look, I'm allergic to antidepressants, I'm allergic to most medications, anti-inflammatories make me flip out, neuroblockers make me write manifestos, and this is all within 1 or 2 pills that I take, right? Though the pills that your regular physician would give you, those pills I had a lot of trouble with, and I would tell them, and sometimes bring the manifesto in, and they would still give it to me, and I try not to grab the pamphlet, because I will talk myself out of getting the medication, and because they're all going to have these side effects, right? So I would trust. I'm like, they're the professional. Their job is do no harm. They're going to do the right thing. I'm being honest with them, and I'm brutally honest. I want to be a better human. I don't go in there telling them bullshit lies, because I want to get better. And they don't believe me. They're like, oh, I have 12 years of going to school. You're not going to tell me this is happening to you. Well, honey, I have 52 years of being this mentally messed up. You're not going to tell me. And they don't see this in their arrogance and in their education. And it's very dismissive to people who don't fit into your little box. And you compile all that stuff, and that was the real break. I had a couple of doctors that gave me some medications that I explained to them I was allergic to, so all they did was give me the generic of it, or another name of it from another company. Gave me the same medication I told them I had problems with. and sent me into a really bad place. Winded up getting overwhelmed with the tasks that I was doing daily, because I will try and help people, and I try and explain to people I can only be here for a little while. I can do this, I can do certain things, and I can't do certain other things. Like if it's medical and I have to change bandages, and I can't do it. I have trauma from doing all that with my mom and dad and still losing them. Was it something I did because I had no training? I had to make the decision to sign the papers to get my mom the operation that everybody knew she wasn't going to survive from. But I had to be there. I had to make that decision, and I never recovered from that. Those are decisions you don't recover from, guys. Did I make the right one? This is a woman that, even through all her mental illness, and nobody knew what it was back then, right? A woman was just being moody. Oh, it must be that time of the month. Back then, they had no clue. The things she went through that could have been avoided. She too meant so much well, and she helped so many people. Sure, come live with us. We love you. She accepted everybody for who they were. And I'm gonna dedicate. She used to always tell me, knowledge is power. It's the only thing they can't take away from you. So I'm gonna dedicate a newsletter when I finally get a Facebook up. It's my mother, Barbara Saunier. She was Miss Bobby at the ballpark in Bay St. Louis, and at Bay St. Louis Library. Even though she barely had a 9th grade education, she taught people to read and get their GED. She would take in neighborhood kids. You have a place here. Family members, you need a moment. She was there. And I love that she would never ask a million questions or try and get in your business, right? She always says, when you're ready to talk, you can come to me. And I try and keep that, and I don't, because I get paranoid, right? Get paranoid. Oh my God, they're not talking to me. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And I want people to understand that it's me doing that to myself. I call it mental masturbation. I've called it that since I was about 28. That's what I call it. But the whole point is to document this process and my awakening to what the hell's going on with me and why am I doing this. And this is the process I go through when I come out of these mental breakdowns, because you gotta understand, man, the medication, and then it drove me to a place where I didn't want to be, and I didn't make it better for myself because I didn't realize what was happening. The help I was getting wasn't helping. So I didn't think I was gonna make it one night, and I drove myself to the hospital and checked myself in after 20 years of walking away from mental health care, winging it, trying to learn by myself, because what they did didn't work, right? And they lie, they're deceitful. So, and look, I'm talking about small deceit will set me off, right? Like when I was locked up in the state hospital, they're like, oh, watermelon, you can smell this watermelon from a mile away, like, and you just don't understand when you're locked up in there. But you can smell this watermelon. I was so anticipating this, And they get these little get-togethers where we pop balloons up in the air, whatever. I don't. It's vague. I got so angry. It's vague. So we get in there, and they give us this watermelon, and they already put sweetener on it, unnatural sweetener. That was deceit to me, right? I can't do unnatural sweetener. I get migraines, and it makes me throw up if I do too much. Like, I can't drink too many fountain drinks because I think they automatically put natural sweetener in it to break up the syrup for it to mix together. There's a small amount of that in there, I think. So that was deceit to me, and that was a trigger that set me off so bad that I didn't trust them after that. Nope, didn't trust them at all. That was my stint. Like, that I don't even remember first day, 8th day that happened. I was there quite a while. That was the last stint, right? That's when they sent me to the state hospital. That was the third time I'd been in. I'd been committed twice. I committed myself the first time, and then, like, right back to back, twice after that, I got committed by a judge. And I haven't been the same since. But I'm starting to wake up now. Starting to realize that the angry voice needs to get strep throat or something, man. I'm so tired of being angry. It's so exhausting to think and to expect any other human being to be worried about what's going on in my head and how I process things and how I conceive how they see me, or how I conceive how they think they know me. And that makes no sense. It makes no sense at all to do that, right? Let's be totally flipping honest here. I want to bring this awakening along to everyone. Everyone that can. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I will do that in person. I just want you to see, and hopefully we can help others, people in your life. But the awakening came, and this is where I'm at. I'm ready to share it and document it, and how it progresses, and maybe learn something. Learn to be that better human without all these labels and strips. I want to see a human, not names we make up or give anything. You, me. We're not different. I mean, we're not the same. We're not different. I got lost at what I was saying. I'm going to keep on talking, because we can do a podcast, and that's what I do best. I'm going to go up the road and get an interview with this gentleman. Can't remember his name. And I do want to give a shout out to the Pearlington Baptist Church. Or I think it's the Baptist Church. I'll just say the Pearlington Church. I'm not sure of the right name. The lady there was very sweet to listen to me and take my flyer. And I want to thank you for your $5 donation. That will go to more flyers. I'm not asking for cash because I want it all to be documented. I want this all to go back into this project and like I said, this, even though money makes everything easier, this is about self-awareness and just trying to be a better person and human. I wanna help. I don't know how to help myself, but maybe this will help too. I'm hoping. The only thing I can keep doing that I know that works is give myself information about what and why and how I'm feeling, and try and validate if it's factual and if it's evident. I'm just like this close to being homeless and on the street. And I don't want to be. Like I said, a lot of times we didn't have a lot of things, but we always had a roof over our head when I was a child. No. But, all we can do is try and make it better for the next generation, right? That's what my beliefs were when I was told all these white picket fences and the American dream, and it's only for a few people. And I'm not included. Those aren't the rules I can play by. And I don't have to. And still be a validated human being. I don't have to play by them rules and not exist in society or amongst others. No one deserves that. That's how we lose so many. That's why we self-medicate. You're hurting. You don't know how to deal with it. We do those things because those are survival mechanisms. Mechanisms we put up in our brain just to be able to breathe every day. It's hard to breathe when you're being suffocated by all these things that you're supposed to conform to. And you can't. I can't anymore. My brain won't allow me to. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore. All we're doing is hurting each other, pushing people aside. Tired of pushing people aside. I'm tired of hurting and being mad at things people can't control. They have no more control over what's happening in their life than I do in mine. And how dare me to think that they should fucking just, to think that they should just, how dare me? I mean, really, it's like, wow, the audacity of myself to think you should know what's going on with me. And I see that now. I see it as clear as day, and I knew it before. It's just that it was getting so drowned out in my own head. Just want you to see this so maybe you can understand what us Karens or whatever you want to call us are just so compounded with everything we snap in a moment because we're told that this is the way it's supposed to be and that's the only way it can be. That's not how our species got here, guys. Species got here because when they kicked people like us out of the village, we went and made our own village. And then when they kicked us, our ass out of that village, we kept going. And now society tells you to stop. This is what you gotta do. Well, it doesn't work for everyone. And I gotta figure out what works for me. There's a whole life still to be lived. Like I said, this is gonna go, it's gonna branch off into a lot of things because that's the way my brain works. Because as I'm talking and I'm discovering, things come back to me that are so heartbreaking that I did. And this is without drinking, right? I can imagine what I did when I was drinking. A lot of it I put out of my head. Because it wasn't really who I wanted to be. And yeah, you might hear me say, yeah, that's who I wanted to be. I really didn't. That's just how I coped and told myself. It's a coping survival mechanism. I do want everybody to understand how close to death I was when I checked out of society. And I had to get back right before I can get back in it. And I'm ready to get back in it and help. But I can only help for a little while because my mental illness is way worse. Wow. It's a lot worse than it's ever been before in my life. So, I ask for your patience. And I'm going to have episodes. And I'm going to try and stay away from people when I have them episodes. So please don't think that I don't care or that I've given up. It's just that I gotta sit back for a moment and let my mind analyze what's going on before I lose myself again. Because I lose myself. The whole thing just gone. Of who I am of 52 years. The good person that I've carved out and the better person I've become is gone. I want some part of her back. She wasn't a bad person. She just had problems. And I like some of her. I don't want to lose part of her. I just want to make her better. It's not and all. Thank goodness I ain't took a shower yet, huh? This is it, people. This is the real. This is what I deal with every day. I still haven't cleaned my house. Just that one room. But I can't stop what I'm doing right now. And it's the obsession that I get into. And I want to document it and show it. Show what it's really like to try and make yourself better. And now that I don't drink like I used to, because I can't, I can drink a little bit. Now, I did get food barred. I don't know if you know what food barred is, but next, people that's a little bit older around you, because I don't want to say nothing bad. But, and I don't know how to edit yet. I'm just doing this all on the fly, and I'm learning on doing it. Because if I don't document it now, I might get scared and not do it. I think this should be done. I've learned a lot through documentaries, because I can't read anymore. I can't pick up a book. and read a book anymore. And that's heartbreaking to me because I love to read anything, even if I didn't agree with it. But if I heard it, I had to go find out about it. And that's what I want to do here, but I want to do it with everyone. So maybe they can find out about it and help someone they love. You know, I was so drunk that night, and I actually got mad at the lady I was trying to get to help me. I was in a manic episode, and the ups and downs are crazy when you're in that. With the drinking, though, it just kind of flows, and but when I was sober, I could, you know, it depends on who I'm with. I'm like human resources' worst nightmare. That's why I can't get a regular job. I'm inappropriate. Don't mean to be. I don't know how to explain it, like Tourette's maybe. I get excited and speak very inappropriately. I try not to be around people's children because I am like that. I don't know how to control my language anymore, or to stop what I'm thinking in my head to come out of my mouth. So I've taken myself out of places and people and things that I should have never have, but I had to, until I can make myself a little bit better and see the realization of what was happening to me, that I was doing to myself by letting it happen to me. Because I can see it the whole time, right? There's this little voice in the back of your head that tries to speak reason with you, but I wasn't hearing it. I was refusing to listen to it. And after this long in life, I know I have to listen to that voice. I just never had to listen to it completely sober. It's a lot harder to hear when you're completely sober. But, like, I never learned like anyone else. If I was in school and the teacher would turn around to write on the board, I couldn't hear a word she said because I couldn't see her lips move, and I had no trouble hearing. It's crazy. But it didn't match up, right? As soon as she turned around, I didn't hear her, and I don't know why. Happy-go-lucky when drunk got me far to make friends and what have you. But then it compounded so much that I alienated everyone. I don't want people to keep doing that to themselves. We don't deserve it. To do that to myself. Not blaming no one else. Not making excuses. I did it.